Good evening. It's Friday, the 12th of April. It's my T+10 transplant plus 10 days. As I said the other day, this is when you're supposed to start coming out of the weeds. And it was a decent day today. It was okay. Got through it, which is sometimes all you can ask for. Sometimes it's all you probably should ask for. There's good cop, bad cop. Everybody's heard of that. Sometimes it's good day, bad day, and they're not always 100% either way. But I was going to start this a few times today, and then every time I started, something else came up, and I had to see, our doctors. We had to go through all kinds of testing. I've got something new in my neck here. I don't know whether you can see it. There's a dark mark there. They're taking cultures of that and trying to figure out what exactly that is and why it's there. And we'll let you know what we find out when that happens. But in the realm of everything that I wanted to talk about in the course of the day, I got to the end of the day now, and I'm not sure that any of what I wanted to talk about earlier made any sense. So I decided I'd do something different and just share with you my thoughts on social media. Not all of it, of course. I mean, that's too huge a subject to discuss. I attempted to in an earlier blog post, but I was thinking about it a lot today, and I think maybe we'll go there. We'll go there. I mean, because like good cop, bad cop, good day, bad day. Nothing is all good and nothing is all bad. If you look at the signature for the grand ultimate, the Tai Chi sign, which is the circle that's divided in half. The black side with a tiny dollop of white, the white side with a tiny dollop of black to indicate the duality of the universe, more or less. And the question and the problems with social media in general have become self-evident over the last number of months and years. We've seen everything that's gone on with Facebook and everything in that regard. And pardon me while I try and get comfortable, which is pretty near impossible. In any case, however, the value of social media tends to be underrated or underesteemed because it's misunderstood. I think I'm not sure everybody really understands what it's supposed to be all about. Certainly this exposure to social media that we just had in building the blood donations and the platelet donations, for me, have been an example of everything that social media could or should be and what it's capable of doing in terms of saving a life or saving many lives when it comes to platelets and transfusions. The issue, the conundrum that everybody seems to have really is how to remain private in a public world, in a social media universe. And let's take a look at that for a second, because I think it's worthy of at least some serious thought. I certainly think so. I'm a perfect example of that. I don't deserve to be in a private world. I don't know what I'm allowed to push over to one side and say, no, 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 that's my private life. You can't look at that. And I say that because since 1985, I've been writing for the largest publications in the automotive repair universe in this country, certainly. I don't think there have been smaller. Circulations have all been over 100,000. Repair shops, the readership, BPA audited readership of all the magazines has come out pretty evenly to 3.8. So you don't have to be a math giant to know that if the magazine goes to 100,000 shops and it's read by 3.8 people in the shop, then you're talking about 380,000 views. In my position, my column was all about very personal, very subjective search for the truth, for working through problems in the universe through my own personal experience and what I've learned and how I've managed to put that into play in order to make life, easier somehow. But when you put yourself out there to a universe that large of people, how do you turn around and say, well, you can't go over this line, buddy, because I'm a very private person? Well, yeah, okay, fine. That sounds good. But, and I struggled with writing blogs, written blogs, before, because I didn't see any way you could do that and not reveal everything about you, or at least be called out for not. And because writing is cleaner, more precise, demands more attention. Video blog, on the other hand, as I just found out, because this is my first attempt, is more immediate. In many cases, more visceral, because it shows whoever is doing it literally living through it as it's being recorded. And I think people are more forgiving of video blogs because they're more immediate. At least I hope so, because I'm going to sure need a lot of leeway when it comes to that. But because I was asked to write the blog, and as I've been writing it, I've recognized that it isn't bad to share things that normally would make you uncomfortable sharing. And the basis for determining what that's all about is benefit. Meaning, who's it going to help? Or is it going to help anyone? So you come into this realization of the greater good. And the greater good is the number of lives you can influence and change. And it's easy to it's not easy to say that when you know that your blog is not going that many people in the universe. You don't have a subscription rate of tens of thousands or millions of people out there. But the fact of the matter is that it is being shared, and I've been told, at least by people, that the blog is going out there, and if it's not being read by someone who's going through the same thing that I am, it's being read by someone who knows someone who's going through the same thing that I am. We're helping to care for something, someone who's got the same thing that I have. And I think that's kind of critical. I think that when you start writing about your experiences, you have no choice but to be honest about it, because one thing you learn really quickly with the doctors is that is early and often. You have to communicate with your doctors about a problem that you're having, like this thing's on my neck, early, so that they can get a chance to get out ahead of it. You have to communicate with your doctors often, because the more you communicate with your doctor, the easier it is for you to communicate with him and for him to learn how to then in turn get back to you and communicate in a way that you'll appreciate and understand. And I think that's one of the things that's getting me through this, that's helping me to talk about it. So I guess that's an odd attempt at justification for this evening. But I know that it has helped me to clarify my thoughts on everything that I'm going through internally, everything that it's meant to my family. It's as I've said before many times, that, and it doesn't matter what the diagnosis is, it's irrelevant really. The diagnosis for a disease like cancer, any kind of cancer, it doesn't matter, affects the whole family. It doesn't affect the husband. It affects the husband, the wife, kids, grandkids. It all, it depends. And while this is such an exciting time in research and development for cures, we have to be aware of the fact that cancer is still terrifying. And the need for us to share those segments or sections of our lives and the coping mechanisms that we've discovered is critical. It's going to be critical to somebody. If not you in your own life, then certainly to someone who you might encounter and be able to help. So I think that's something that's worth thinking about. I mean, I think that's something worth devoting time to. So that's your assignment for tonight, kids. That's your homework. I guess is to some degree to learn how to listen, which is critically important. But just as important is to learn how to communicate about things that are really uncomfortable and troubling to talk about. And with that, I will leave you for the evening. I thank you very much. This is Mitch Schneider, City of Hope, Duarte, California, on T+10, Transplant plus 10. Looking at my numbers again this evening, and they still look like shit. However, let's all hope and pray they get better, because we got a lot of work to do. We'll talk about that another time. All right, love you all. Bye-bye.